Hey everyone, welcome back to another adventure of me fixing the chassis. I'm a little dirty right now. Stuff, even with gloves, you still get filthy wearing doing this stuff. Anyway, made some progress today. Did last couple weeks. I had to buy some supplies. I ran out of cutting blades. I ran out of grinding discs, so I had to order some more. But I got those in. I made some progress, so let's get to it. Here we go, modifying the front. I got to cut pretty much all of this out. Coming this side, I got to cut these off, and then most of this in the front's getting cut out. I have to pull it forward, and then I have to reshape this piece completely. It's supposed to come in, over, and then back across, which will end up about where it is right here. But it's going to come out and then across this way to match up right. So we'll get started on that, and we'll see how it goes. Well, here we are, 5 reciprocating blades later, and 6 or 7 cutoff wheels later. I finally got all this cut off. It's still right here, most of it. I still have to clean up some areas. Let me see if I can get in here. I gotta cut these off yet, and I gotta clean up there, cut that one off. Cut off this piece right here, which is like an L shape. Cut that off there. Cut off this here. Of course, clean these up, both sides. That I gotta do. Well, I wanted to move it to the other side anyway, so now's my chance to do that. I wanted it on the outer edge. I wanted this bar on the outer edge. Luckily, I saved the 2 bars coming down because those are hard to cut. I can't use my saw, so I gotta do them by hand, and it's just a hard angle to cut. I do still need to remove these because this will be a different angle. There's another one right here I'll have to remove, and then that one in there, and then that whole L side right there, because again, that angle is going to change once I move all this forward. And then these 2 crossbars here will also get cut once I know where they're going to go. I'll cut that. I'll square up those edges because I got to extend those 2 out. All right, here we go. We're just about ready to start welding up the new front piece. You can see where it used to come straight across, it was like 174 centimeters. I cut it down to 100, has it make a right turn. 245s, there's a nice, easy to cut. And then comes out again 40. I think the distance between this back edge and this back edge is like 8 centimeters or something. But that'll be the new piece coming across, and then I'll weld up that side. Yeah, sometimes you gotta get a little creative when you're doing things like this. I wanted to keep that thin tie bar straight over that long distance, which is really hard to do because as soon as you start welding it, it wants to bow. So what I ended up doing was I laddered it in between my 2 frame rails right here and here. I'll zoom in a little bit. So I have my 2 main frame rails. I tied in a 1.5 tube on that side, and then I clamped it on the top. I just put a spacer in the middle to keep the middle from warping up or down, and then I put another 1.5 inch across the back there, and I was able to clamp that down. So a little later on, I'll take it out once it cools, and see how it goes. Finally getting to a point where the front's been moved. I'll put the roof section back on it before the end of this video. Redid the two front tie bars. I have all the pieces here. I moved them back up to the front. I still need to clean off all the welding slag, which I'll do later on once I'm at that point. So all that's done. I got the 45s. Let's see right here. I got the 45s that I'll be welding up onto this. This will just tie the back of the beam. And you can see here, let's see if you can see here. Let me zoom in a little bit more right here. So this is where the front of this will be, and then this section here is where the back of it will be. So that's how far from here back I've moved the firewall in the front, at least the front section here. So I'll still have to cut this out, which I'm doing later, and redo that, because now it's gonna go all the way back to about, oops, it's gonna go to about here. So this will come down probably maybe right against this or right in front of it, and then come across and tie into that, which will actually make that part a little stronger. So yeah, one more cut to do, and then I'll put the roof back on. You can see how it's coming along, and then I gotta extend this. I already cut the pieces out of that, so I'll have to extend that. I gotta cut those little triangles out too. They won't be there anymore, because the new ones will come from the new spot down. And then all that gets covered with some sheet metal. All right, made a little bit more progress. It's a little not dusty, but smoky in here because of the welding. But I was able to get the 2 bars in and this one in. I gotta extend those up right there, and I still have to extend those, but I gotta cut that little bottom piece off on both sides and those pieces on both sides. Then I'll be able to call this part of it finished. It's getting closer. So here we are with the roof section on the car. I still have to do a little bit more up on there, but you can see how nicely I'll end up trimming. I'll end up trimming right in here once I know where the tube is tying in. But you can see how nicely that lines up right there, lines up back there. And then this will come back. And then here we got the angle on this. What I did find is one of my friends out in the UK has an original body. So he made this nice paper template for me, thanks Scott. And what you can see is I have to trim a little bit up in here, so this will fit flush. And then right here, this side of this part right here needs to come out about maybe 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. But the more important part is up here, where you can see how far in it's got to come up. And then the window alignment isn't right either. You can see how the window's off a little. So I may cut that out and just rotate it around. I may not. We'll see what happens when I get to that point of the project. So I wanted to get to doing the bar down here, getting that installed, but the front just took too long to fix. But I'm happy with what it is now. Once I tie, like I said, I still gotta take those bars out and then tie those into there, and then tie those in, and that will finish the front. Well, then I have to do the couple of bars that go across on an angle. You know, right now they used to go to right here, but they're gonna go all the way up to here on a different angle. So I'll replace all those. Then I think that section will be done. Then I can start working on the rear section. Let me back this up a little. I picked up this really nice sidebar. You can see right here. This is the one that goes from up to down here. So once I get the body back on, I can figure out exactly where this is going. I might have to lower this down just a little to make all this work, but that one shouldn't be that hard, as I wonder. So little by little, we're getting there. You can see the body's starting to fit on there good. There's a gap, about maybe 2 inches. That'll shrink in a little bit more, but that'll work out nice for when I put the bracket on there to come through here. And then there'll be a second one right here for the X-frame. I still have to fix this piece and finish fixing that. And then grind down the other side as well, and then put the angled bars in. Make sure everything lines up nicely on that. I think the rework is taking me longer than the actual first pass through, just because you got to cut, you got to grind, you got to determine if you can use that piece of metal anymore or if it's scrapped. But we're getting there, little by little. So maybe next week I'll throw a few more panels on there. I'll probably finish the front before I start putting the panels on, though I don't have to keep taking them on and off 500 times. But I spent a few hours just cleaning up the garage a little bit. There's a lot of dirt and dust and debris and whatnot. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I thank everybody.